Last summer, I was part of a group who went on the annual King Alfred school trip to Namibia, where we visited a school and refurbished 3 classrooms. These are some of the kids that we met there. Getting the chance to play and chat to the kids really allowed us to engage and get to know them properly. And it also made it very emotional when the time came to leave them, as they'd become really attached to us throughout the week, writing us letters and even crying when the time came to say goodbye. There was a real positivity in the meeting of our 2 schools. However, despite this, I couldn't help but feel a slight unease at the end of a working day as we ventured back to our own campsite. There we were, spending all day with kids who didn't have a particularly nutritious diet, mainly porridge, not sufficient cutlery, and nowhere to really sit and eat. And then, if you were to walk 5 minutes away, you would have seen our group under this enormous tree, stuffing our faces with the most delicious food, which was cooked over a big fire by a local lady. I don't think I've ever eaten more in my life. I definitely came home a couple of pounds heavier. And I just felt it was strange that at a time when we were supposed to be experiencing the lives of people in Namibia, there was still this inequality between us. The reason for telling this story is to raise an issue that is being avoided due to business promotion. It's clear from the rise in the number of students taking gap years that going out to help in a low-income developing country truly is a transformational experience for a person's life. But what does it do for the people that we visit? In a way, it's a slightly imperialistic view that we are doing good by imparting our ideal of lifestyle onto supposedly impoverished people, especially when often we are the ones contributing to their poverty through our excess consumerism and causing of climate change. I think that volunteer projects could be a really positive thing, as they create a certain awareness and can bring about beneficial change for both volunteers and recipients. But when 80% of international volunteers are doing manual tasks that local residents are able to do themselves, I think there is a problem. Because this is where it becomes more one-sided and more about the Westerner developing skills as opposed to being of use. A study from George Washington University showed that the #1 reason for volunteering abroad was for professional development. Now, is this the way we should be looking at it? Yes, brilliant if people can develop as a person and gain skills in a really active way like this. But should that be the intention that they go with? And how is it going to help the community if the people we're sending over don't have the skills required to help in the first place? I thought we were supposed to be transforming their lives, not ours. I think that there's so many students coming out of university with high skills and qualifications that they could really use these to improve a charity in the long run. However, to do this would require them to stay there for a long, sustained period of time. Currently, students looking to go on gap years are looking for trips to last about 2 to 3 weeks, and so they can move on to the next place. And obviously, companies have to cater to this in order to keep business running, despite whether or not they actually feel comfortable with it. Instead of using their skills, more and more we're seeing volunteers standing up to teach children in classrooms when they're not actually qualified to teach. In the UK, it would be completely illegal to have someone unqualified standing up in our classrooms. In order to guarantee that we're really going to help a charity, I believe we need to be developing long-standing relationships. This way, it's not just a one-off donation or occasional appearance from volunteers, but actually a scheme that supports all year round with the aim of making the charity or community independent. That is why there's a group of us in Year 12 who are really trying to get our school more involved in supporting a Kongu primary school all year round instead of just turning up once a year. At the moment, we're trying to send over enough money to build a dining hall for the kids that we met last summer. So to conclude, I'd like to ask you to really consider who is benefiting from these trips when you see them advertised, because I believe that it's crucial that they are ethical and transformational to the recipients. Thank you.